This is so good.
Yes, human food is delicious. I'm glad you like it. Hey everyone, subscribe! Subscribe? What is that? Is it food? We like food. Hehe, it's better.
The first thing humanity learned about the Virellians was that they were not warriors. The second thing humanity learned was that their cubs loved macaroni. The Virellians arrived in Earth's orbit inside a ship shaped like a silver teardrop. It hovered above the Pacific Ocean for 3 days before sending down a transmission. Scientists scrambled, governments panicked, and militaries prepared for the worst. But when the hatch finally opened, what stepped out were not soldiers. They were small, about 3 feet tall, covered in soft bluish fur, with large golden eyes and twitching ears that resembled a mix between a fox and a rabbit. Behind them waddled even smaller versions, cubs clutching glowing tablets and looking around with wide curiosity. The world held its breath. Then one of the cubs pointed at a food vendor's cart and squeaked, "Ma-ca-ro-na?" The translator device crackled, struggling with the unfamiliar syllables. The human vendor, a middle-aged Italian man named Marco, blinked in confusion. "Macaroni?" he repeated. The cub's ears shot upright. Yes, macaroni. That was how first contact truly began. Within weeks, the Virellians explained why they had come. Their species had explored hundreds of star systems. They had found planets rich with minerals, worlds filled with gas oceans, and civilizations far older than humanity. But they had never found macaroni. Apparently, complex grain-based carbohydrates combined with dairy proteins were extraordinarily rare in the galaxy. Wheat-like crops existed elsewhere, but none with Earth's precise molecular structure. And cheese? A fermented dairy product created by bacteria working in harmony with mammalian milk? Unheard of. To the Virellians, it was a miracle food, especially for their cubs. On their homeworld of Virel Prime, nutrition was efficient, but bland protein gels, mineral pastes, nutrient cubes. It sustained life, but it did not create joy. The first time a Virelian cub tasted macaroni and cheese, their neural readings spiked off the charts. Dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin all flooded their systems. To them, it was not just food, it was happiness. Earth governments quickly realized something important. The Virellians possessed technology centuries ahead of humanity faster than light travel, gravity manipulation, medical nanits, but they did not understand joy the way humans did. And they desperately wanted more macaroni. So humanity did what it did best. It cooked. Factories shifted production lines. Agricultural sectors received sudden investment. Cheese exports skyrocketed. Entire cargo ships were loaded not with weapons or machinery, but with boxes labeled Macaroni Earth Export Grade. The first official interstellar trade agreement between Earth and Virel Prime was signed over a shared meal. On the table sat a steaming dish of baked macaroni and cheese. One Virelian diplomat delicately lifted a forkful, tasted it, and closed all 4 of his eyelids in bliss. "Humanity," he said through the translator. "You are a civilization of profound cultural depth." The human ambassador tried not to laugh. "It's just comfort food," she replied. The diplomat tilted his head. "Comfort? Food?" "Yes, food we eat when we want to feel safe, warm, happy." The Virelian's ears lowered slightly in thought. "You build emotional architecture into your sustenance," the ambassador said. "Sure." Months later, Earth hosted the first group of Virelian cubs for a cultural exchange. They arrived at a school in Ohio, tiny backpacks strapped to their fluffy shoulders. Human children stared in awe. The cubs stared at the cafeteria. It was Macaroni Day. The smell alone caused half the Virelian cubs to tremble with excitement. Their ears buzzed faintly a sign of intense emotion. One human child, a girl named Lily, offered her tray to a shy cub beside her. "You can have some of mine," she said. The cub hesitated. "Is this, permitted?" "Yeah, we share." The cub took a bite. For a moment, the cafeteria went silent. Then the cub let out a soft chirping sound, the Virellian equivalent of laughter. His ears glowed faintly gold. The other cubs joined in. Human children began trading recipes, teaching them how to sprinkle breadcrumbs on top, how to mix in bacon, how to bake it for a crispy layer. The Virelian teachers watched in amazement. The galaxy had tasted Earth kindness. Now it wanted more. 3 years after the first macaroni shipment reached Virel Prime, an official request arrived from the Galactic Assembly. Earth was invited to host the first-ever Interstellar Cultural Nourishment Summit. The theme? Emotional sustainability in developing civilizations. In simpler terms, teach us how you do. Whatever it is you do. Humanity sent chefs, not generals. Not CEOs, chefs. Among them was Marco, older now, a little grayer, but still carrying the same wooden spoon from his street cart. Alongside him were culinary experts from Tokyo, Lagos, Mexico City, Rome, Lahore, and Sao Paulo. They boarded a Virelian diplomatic vessel and made the jump to faster-than-light travel. For many humans, it was their first time leaving the solar system. For the Virelians, it was the first time they transported something more valuable than technology. They transported recipes. Virel Prime was breathtaking. Crystal forests shimmered beneath lavender skies. Cities curved organically, grown rather than built. Energy flowed through translucent towers like veins of light, but something was missing. The streets were orderly, efficient, quiet. Children played, but without the chaotic laughter human cities seemed to breathe naturally. When the Earth delegation stepped off the ship, dozens of Virelian cubs were waiting. Their ears perked the moment they smelled the sealed thermal containers. One cub whispered, "Is it baked?" Marco winked. "Double baked, extra crispy." The cub nearly fainted. The summit hall was vast, filled with representatives from dozens of species. Bioluminescent beings floated in water spheres. Tall crystalline entities stood motionless like statues. Insectoid diplomats clicked softly among themselves. At the center stood a simple human cooking station. No advanced machinery. Just pots, pans, ingredients. The moderator from the Galactic Assembly spoke first. "Today, humanity will demonstrate emotional culinary structuring." Marco leaned toward the microphone. "It's called cooking together." He began with basics, boiling water, adding salt, explaining why timing mattered. A holographic display showed molecular interactions, but Marco waved it away. "It's not just chemistry," he said. "It's patience." He invited 3 Virelian cubs onto the stage. "Stir this," he told one. The cub hesitated. "I'm not certified in thermal preparation," Marco laughed. "You are now." The cub gripped the spoon with tiny paws and stirred. The other 2 sprinkled cheese carefully at first, then enthusiastically. The scent filled the chamber. Something shifted. Alien delegates who had previously studied humanity as a strategic ally now watched as children participated in creation. When the dish was finished, Marco didn't serve the assembly leaders first. He served the cubs, always the cubs. They took a bite, and once again, their ears glowed gold. The golden shimmer reflected across the crystal architecture of the hall. Other species murmured in fascination. One crystalline delegate vibrated softly. "This reaction is communal," Marco nodded. "That's the point." During a break in the summit, a tall aquatic envoy approached Marco. "Human," it said through rippling translator tones, "why do you prioritize the young in all exchanges?" Marco didn't hesitate. "Because if the kids are happy, the future's safe." The envoy processed this. "In most civilizations, resources are allocated to leadership first." "Yeah," Marco replied. "We tried that." "Didn't work out so great," the envoy tilted in confusion. "You willingly send your finest harvest to another world's offspring?" Marco shrugged. "They needed it." The envoy recorded the answer carefully. Not everyone in the galaxy approved of Earth's growing influence.